Welcome to Leadership Trends and Insights. I'm your host, Nina Segura, where we create collaborative conversations to connect our company cultures and our world community. I'm super excited because I just got the chance to speak with Alan Stanford, who we have been playing phone tag and rescheduling for weeks and weeks. So Alan, thank you so much. I know you're the CFO of Azora Aviation, you're the VMT.org mentor, and former CFO of Jetscape Aviation Group. And I know you've just secured a super big deal and are in the throes of all that. So thank you and welcome. Welcome, Alan.
Okay. Well, Nina, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be on your show.
So Alan, one of the reasons why I thought that your message is relevant to the people that are listening is that you seem to embody this concept of leaders being their word, being their word and being people who are supporting the next generation to realize that they won't be there forever. Can you talk a little more about what you think the world needs more now than ever as it relates to people realizing that they need others to fill their shoes?
Sure. Thanks for that. I think one of the keys is always knowing that a company can continue with, you're not the most vital thing to the company. You're a great person to have in the company. You're a great leader and so forth. But as great leaders, we need to include others in our decision making, bring them along, include them in things that they're not quite ready for, and make sure that there is always somebody right behind you that can step into your shoes. Things happen. We never quite know why. We had just had this COVID event over this last year, and that has massive disruption. And as much as we don't want things to happen to people, sometimes they do. And we have to make sure that there are one or more people that can step into our shoes. And they learn, and they learn how to do that by working with you and collaboratively with you and being included in decision making and meetings and processes that they might not quite be ready for.
When you think about your organization right now, where do you see it stretching itself as you espouse this and embody this value?
Well, I'm not sure that our current organization is really the right organization. We're a startup. There are 11 of us, and we're in the process of putting people together right now. Well, maybe that is the right place.
Yeah.
Because we're hiring for that, and so when I'm looking at hiring, I'm looking for a diversity of opinions, management styles, experience, and then committing to training those people. Sometimes not in a formal training methodology or program, but by including them in what we're doing. I had a young man that was working for me, who was working for us again in a former organization, and he was a young guy, eager, and I had him sitting in board meetings within 2 months of joining us. So he learned. And now he's a great leader within our new organization.
So really opening up our minds to say, wait, I can apply this now, regardless of the stage of the company, whether I'm a startup or I've been in a company the company's been around for hundreds of years. I can think about job shadowing. It doesn't have to be this super formal structure. It could be just like, hey, I'd like to see you talk to me about what you're noticing here after a session or before the session. This is the outcome that we're wanting to achieve. And just shadow me on this, or yes, and me on a couple of things. And so designing that connection with your key leaders so that as you're moving forward, you're at least aligned as you're working through things.
Yeah, and it's also experiencing, what it is like to be reporting to or having conversations with people that are 1 or 2 tiers above you. And what is that like? And what are they looking for? And what are they asking? Because that permeates down into the activities that you do every day. And so, if you're putting together presentations or your analyses, are you answering the questions? They're your ultimate customer. If someone's working for me, I'm their customer within an organization.
Yeah, internal customers. And you're also touching on not looking at title as being the end all of how we can learn and how we can fill one another's shoes, right? Because there's always something to learn regardless of position of authority.
Absolutely. And there's barriers that get in the way of that in certain organizations. We've seen that. That's super straight, firm black lines of reporting, and you never get outside of that. Or, lack of confidence of somebody who's at a level where someone's below them, and they don't have the confidence or to be challenged by that person, or an openness for that. Or others that basically don't like the concept of bringing in younger people into meetings. Why are they here? I've run into that many times, and it's simple. They learn a lot from it, and you need to do so. But there are barriers.
What barriers do you think people face and paradigms that get in the way? You mentioned a little bit here, but maybe you can go a little further and what are some paradigms that get in the way of that?
Well, large organizations are much more difficult to do this with, where people are fighting for positions, and there are lots of rules in which to do things. I've been lucky enough to work over the last 20 years in relatively small organizations as well as large organizations. And, the smaller ones, when we were more nimble, we were able to do things because those paradigms didn't exist. The CEO of my company welcomed what I'm suggesting. Yeah, bring him into the board meeting. He put together the presentation, have him present it. I don't need to talk about just a guy. There's obviously, we want to have women and others in doing these things as well. This just happens to be a simple example. But I also went to work. We sold our company to a European company, and there were massive barriers to doing this. Mm-hmm. I started trying to do this, and I had a CEO try to shut me down on it immediately. And I'm not there anymore.
But it's interesting, right, that they lost your talent, and here you just secured a tremendous amount of resources for your organization. And look at how well your new CEO is responding to the fact that I think we need to balance inclusion with sustainability and learning and effectiveness. All those things could coexist. And now you have a really open-minded leadership team.
Yeah, and it works really well. Sometimes it's a little messier, but there's a lot of benefits to it.
So I just want to say, if anyone's enjoying this episode, please hit subscribe, like it, share it with others. Alan's someone to follow. You'll see his link below in LinkedIn. Follow him definitely on LinkedIn. And yeah, let us know. I'd love to hear your thoughts about if you've tried to apply this in your organization, even if you're in a larger organization. I know Disney has definitely, and I worked at American Express for a long time in large organizations, where they definitely have cross training as a key indicator of learning and development. Or they have, I know at Disney, work in the parks at least one day, so that you remember the internal customers, of course, and also the external customers that come and visit the park. So I think definitely they're forward-thinking organizations. Zappos is another large company, but also that has learning at the forefront. But if you're in an organization, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And thank you for listening. If you're a leader looking for business or personal transformation, schedule a success call. Look forward to hearing you. Alan, thank you so much for joining us today. Bringing your learning to us and for us. Thank you for your message. It's very relevant.
Well, thank you for including me. It's been a lot of fun.
You're awesome. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.